Hi guys, and welcome to episode 12 of Dev Blog for Marlin. I'm taking another crack at Sherry Bomb today, based on a fancy rat, and so that's what I'll be doing. Starting with her head. It took a little while to get the shape of the head down, just getting the ears in place and cleaning up the face and making sure it was more rat-like and not mouse-like. She has a bit of a chunk out of her ear because of the explosives. She has her earrings. She's going to have some markings. She looks a little bit deranged because she's tired, but I might change that at the end of it. I wasn't quite happy with it. I like the fact that she has a darker lip because it means she's. I was going to make her dark gray, as in the drawing is like a brown. It's just a darker. It would be a gray rat. And then I realized, well, that might not show up on film very easily, so you'll see what happens. And this is just a basic drawing, nothing crazy, nothing professionally grading. Just throwing out ideas for what I would want. And she's wearing a sort of a breastplate in case things go wrong, and a little bit of a neck chainmail sort of thing, which you'll see when she gets to the point of the next in when she shows up and they get to their next story arc. But yeah, I thought maybe she'd be reaching into her black powder bag, but then I'm like, no, it didn't work. But of course, she's holding a cherry bomb because her name is Sherry Bomb, and that's what she holds. And she's got a black powder keg. I I know the timing for that is off, so I'll have to research that a little bit more and get a better style going. I was trying to go for a timeless look, and those flasks seem to be rather timeless. But I wanted to also do a raggedy cape, and because just a little, not from explosives, just from walking for so long and being on her feet and traveling, she's got these, and she doesn't have shoes, right? So she's going to be a little bit tougher than the other characters. She's going to be like, well, I'm not taking any junk from anybody. Because she doesn't have to. She's lived through enough that she's like, no, that's not happening. Uh, but I do have to fix that look in her eye because it's just not the look I wanted. I needed something a little more world-wise, not frantic. And then she's gonna have a utility belt where she stuffs small explosives and matches or flint or whatever she can. Uh, she'll have to get that back on the boat before they release. I realized the head was far too big. Saved it because I realized that I really need to set up auto saving or something. I don't know. Started coloring it very slowly. I should really do the flats method where you just do the color like that and go bam, bam, bam. Some people use the lasso tool, but my hand is not steady enough for that. I'm learning how to draw with it for my thumbnails, and it's much faster than conventional drawing, but it's also sloppier looking. You're giving up fidelity for speed, so you have to know exactly what your shot is before you get to it. So here's a breastplate in place, uh, just kind of protecting her vitals, which is odd for an animal to wear, but when you get to the next arc in the story, it makes total sense. Yeah, and just coloring in. I just went for basic stuff. I wasn't trying to make her too complicated. Just tying in what I could. And I like the fact that they're purple. I don't know. They'll pop on camera if I can get the right purple showing, especially if they're lit. And then this is me trying to figure out the coloration of her face. And I'm like, well, okay, well, she'll just be brighter there around the nose. and around the back of the head, and I think I did the ears too. Yeah. And then I think I colored in her head a different color. Yeah, a dull gray. So just because she's been burnt a lot, that's why she has short eyebrows and she's missing lashes and stuff. She's been in a couple of accidents or close calls or what have you. And since this is only a character drawing, I realized that the space for the canvas is rather too large. And I only did one layer shadow, one layer light, and one layer of overlay, but I'm still figuring out how to do that properly in this program. Because in Photoshop, an overlay or even Procreate overlay, you can select previous layers on how to hold them, and I'm just still learning how to do that with Clip Studio Paint. I should just look it up, which I'll do after this video. Yeah, but the coloring's almost to an end, and then she gets a a basic background, just because I wanted to see how she looked versus some relative sky. Here's me adding shadow. I don't think I quite thought about where the sun was coming from at that point. I should have, but I wasn't. It's just like, just shade her in and see how it looks. Do a little cell shading. But it does make a big difference. Yeah. Here's me trying to find the right tool for doing screening. It's like, oh yeah, they do have a screen function. That's great. So then I add my highlights. It'd be funny if I added like a single hair off of the top of her head, like a burnt fuse. But technically that would be burned off, so maybe not. I don't know. She's not a comedic character. She's more of a rough and tumble character. Anyway, here's the background coming in. Just something basic. Realized I forgot to paint the whites in. So it's like, okay, here's her eye. She's got blue eyes. Or some colored eyes. I don't really know what color that is. It looks blue to me. Or maybe a kind of a green. Basic land. Realize that my line work is real sloppy around her feet and her cape for the screening, and then I was like, I don't really mind. So then I figured out how to crop it, cropped it, and basically called it good. Added the shadow, remembered to add the shadow for the cape on the other side, and then for the gunpowder pouch. And then I think I added one more layer of overlay so that I could add shine and sun and shadow a little bit more to her. And again, that didn't really work the way I wanted, but see, I was trying to figure out how to make the mask work. I'm not familiar with masks yet. Something I've got to figure out. But anyway, adding in the shine, definitely on her back and stuff. And if you see in the right hand corner, I missed a bit, so I had to start over after doing all this, because I actually enjoyed this version more. And then realized I made the mistake and tried to fix it, and like, oh no, I gotta fix it. So then I just backed it off a little bit, and then I think I matched the color pretty closely and shined on her back a bit. And that's about it. So thank you very much for watching. That's Sherri Bomb, Pass 2, on the 14th. And she's a fancy rat. Much pleasure, Jay.